Welcome to Robyn's Roost. Last week we made a card using a masking technique. Here's the card we made last week. And I promised you that we would make a card this week using the mask, the back side of the mask, to make another card with an embossed resist technique. So here is the card that we're going to be making today. So let's just flip the camera and get started. So we have our two pieces that we started with, our scraps from our mask from our last card, right? We've got these leftovers, and what we're going to use is the back side. So we're going to start out with this big background stamp called Peaceful View. We're going to go ahead and ink up this large image with some Versamark ink. Now you can also do this by putting the paper onto the large ink pad, or I'm sorry, onto the large stamp like this, and rub it if it's easier. So we've got our ink on there. Our next step is to put some of the embossing powder, and this is the clear embossing powder. And it's kind of hard to see with all the clear ink and the clear embossing powder. It's hard to see it, but it is here. Let's see. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my heat gun and now heat this. Once you have it all heat embossed, now we can start doing our inking. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some old olive, and add to the bottom half, and then we'll take some Cajun Craze and add to the top, and this will make our heat embossing come out, so we're really going to see it. And of course you can make it as light or as dark as you want. And then we'll come back with our Cajun Craze on the top to give the leaves that nice glow. And then once you have it as dark as you want, come in with a tissue or a piece of paper towel and just rub the embossed areas to make sure that you have the ink all off of your white embossing. So now that we have that all done and ready, I'm going to use the same stamp set that we used for the greeting for our card last week. I'm going to actually use the a different greeting, the sending the healing power of love. And I've got my circle, and this is the circle that came out of the paper that we didn't use on the other card. So I'm just going to do it in the tuxedo black. And I don't think I have actually used this particular image before, so I'm going to stamp it off to make sure it stamps well. Give it another try. Okay, it's looking better. Sometimes the when the stamps are new, they have like an oil on them and they don't stamp well until you get them nice and clean. There we go. Looks great. Now I have a piece of Cajun Craze. I have a piece of Cajun Craze that is just a little bit bigger than this piece. So this is 4 by 5 1/4, and this one is 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere these. And then let's take some of our, this is some old olive linen thread. And you can purchase this in a 2-pack right now. One is Early Espresso and the other one is this old olive. I want this to cross like this. And I want to have my bow sit right on the edge of the circle. I'm just going to knot it first since I'm having such a horrible time getting this bow tied. There we go. And then we will pop this up on dimensionals. And I have a white card base here. And I like to use the thick white for my card bases because they stand up better. The regular white paper is a little bit thinner than this, and it will curl when you try to stand your cards up. So always use the thick white for your card bases. It's the same weight, I believe, as the colored cardstock, where the regular white is a little bit lighter. But the regular white is better for coloring on. So there is our finished card, and here is with our card that we made last week, and this one with our scraps from making our mask. So hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for stopping by at the Roost.